You have a question?
Yes. Can you talk about the fact that you're about to take on a huge undertaking in Australia, something that hasn't been done for 20 years since Madonna did it with the stadium tour? Talk about being at a point in your career where you can do that and being able to go over there and have that happen.
I'm so excited about playing stadiums in Australia. We've been going over there for a few years now and touring, and last year with the stadium tour that we did in Australia, I think we all had a feeling that things had really been going well there. And I think when we put out Red and it did so well there, and the songs have been, they've just been really supportive. And Australia has been one of the most fun places we've ever toured. So going back over there to do stadiums is not, it's not difficult to ask me to go do that. I'm really excited, and I think it'll also be a really great way to spend the end of the year. It's been such an incredible year for touring. We're in the middle of the tour right now, and we've just started doing the stadium shows on the US tour. So ending the year in December in Australia when it's 85 degrees there is not going to be bad. Do you want to have a question?
Can you talk about doing CMA Fest and the relationship that you got with your fans at university worldwide? Talk about playing the festival this year.
It's really exciting to be back at the festival this year, and I think for me it's always an opportunity to do things that are unique for your fans, and it's an opportunity to step on a stage and try to come up with something exciting to pull out for the fans. Picking your set list is really important. You want to make sure that everything that you do for CMA Fest is catered directly to the fans. And that's something that we've tried to do for this show, so hopefully they like it. Do you have a question?
Yes. Thanks for joining us. Early in your career, you did the song Teardrops on My Guitar. You talked about Tim McGraw. Now you have a recent song, Highway Don't Care, and you have performed with him. What do you think about going from singing about him to now performing with him? Honestly,
Tim and Faith have both been some of the most supportive, encouraging people in my career. And to have them be so supportive of me for so many years, and then, you know, to finally get the phone call from Tim that said, hey, do you want to work on something together? You fast forward, and now it's the #1 song, and it just has been a beautiful, magical process. Keith is one of my favorite musicians and one of my favorite songwriters, and standing on a stage with those two it just is an unbelievable, very hard to explain the level of excitement that I feel when I get to collaborate with people I admire so much. Do you have a question? We'll do one and then no, because I like you both.
Can you just comment on getting to perform with the Rolling Stones and getting to twirl with Nick?
The twirl. You know, performing with the Rolling Stones, I really, it just was everything that you would think it would be, but better. It just, because, you know, they've been in this, on this huge heroic pedestal for me for so long, and you walk into a situation like that and you don't know what to expect, and having experienced that last week, they're now at an even higher level of hero status for me, mostly because of their attitude, because of their hospitality, because, you know, they handwrite notes thanking you for being there, because you get to get pictures with them and hang out with them. And I think one of my favorite moments of the whole thing was when the musical director and Mick and I were all rehearsing the song in a dressing room with a piano, and we were just kind of goofing around, and we started dancing, like waltz, like, you know, over-exaggerated ballet moves, and then we started twirling around the room, and it was hilarious because we forgot the words and we just started laughing, and we ended up incorporating a twirl into the performance, I think in homage to the hilarious musical rehearsal that we had that day.
Very excited to see the Red Tour comes here to Nashville in September, but noticing what you did last night with Red and previous performances with I Knew You Were Trouble, there's the drama that you've always had in your live performances, but there's a sense of refinement now. It seems like you're also doing that with the new Taylor perfume, which is a little more
refinement even.
I think it just is. I'm just wondering where your headspace is with like what you're presenting with your live performances and with your perfume. you're presenting yourself these days?
I like the way your hair is now. I like that you grew it out. I think for me it's always been a really high priority. Having started this whole process when I was 16, putting out my first album, I got a lot of questions early on of like, are you gonna grow up too fast? Are you gonna be a train wreck? What's gonna happen? And what I kind of gathered from all that is that it's really important to grow up as you are the age that you are. Just for me personally, that's a priority. So I feel like when I was 18, I was 18. And when I was 20, I was 20, and now I'm 23. And I'm just trying to kind of live my best version of being 23. And to me, that is expanding your horizons, challenging yourself musically, thinking outside the box for performances in ways you haven't before. Rehearse, 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 play lots of shows, and try your best to be better than you've been before. So, wish me luck. All the way in the back. Yes.
You just released a very, very charming video with the duet with Ed Sheeran. Those kids look so much like both of you. Did you have a hand in picking them out?
We did, actually. Thank you for watching it. You know, I think for me, Ed and I just kind of looked at a laptop of videos of kids, and it was very clear, that one, and they were so adorable. And I think that's one of my favorite videos I've ever been a part of, just because those kids are so good. We did a music video for the duet that I did with Ed Sheeran, and we basically cast like 7-year-old versions of ourselves, and it's cute. You should watch it.
Last question.
Right there? Yes, you.
Are you starting to write new songs on the road and getting head to think about a new album already?
Yeah, it's starting. All the anxiety is starting. And when the anxiety starts, then the writing happens right afterward, usually. So, yeah, I basically, I like to write for about 2 years before I'm finished with an album, because at this point I kind of know that whatever I write in the first year is going to get thrown away, because I'm going to like it, but it's going to sound a little bit like the last project I had. And then the second year usually ends up sounding like the next project. So I think at this point I feel like staying the same is the easy way to go, but it's not the way that I want to go creatively. I think you need to challenge yourself. I think you need to change up your influences. I think you need to be inspired by different things than you've been inspired by before. And, you know, it's harder to call up people you don't know and work with them for the first time. And it's harder to think of topics you haven't covered and think of new ways to say old emotions that everyone feels. But that's the goal at this point. And I think one of the things that I'm happiest with in the last year is the acceptance level in country music for me experimenting and for me trying to evolve and challenge myself musically, because I think it's never felt better to be on that stadium stage performing, knowing that everyone's been so welcoming of change.